Yeah, this is a really big game. I'll let you predict first, man. What are you giggling about?
I don't know. My prediction is Huck. Huck he's overdue for a good win. I think he's going to take it. This is going to be played against another guy that's also in Korea, so there's not going to be a big lag advantage to either side. I think Huck wins probably 2-1.
This was a really hard one to call for me as well. I've thought for a long time about it, and then I decided to go for Ganzi. I think it's going to be 2-1 for Ganzi, even though I would be perfectly fine if Huck wins it, because that also would mean that we end out the day 2-2. And that would be kind of cute, because we had 4 hard games to predict. But I know, I think it can go either way. I've seen Ganzi quite a bit against Protoss, and I must say, I'm pretty impressed in general. Sometimes I feel that he makes too many Marauders when he's facing a Zealot Archon army. But other than that, I like his playstyle against Protoss, so I decided to go for Ganzi.
Cool, well.
Man, I have to really get into StarCraft again, like my mind is somewhere else.
Man, you were working it, son. She was kind of cute. Did she call you back?
Yes.
Of course. They always call back.
Yes.
And question is, did you answer?
And then, never mind. Yes, I always answer, man. I'm a good person. What do you think of me, man? You should know better than that.
I'm just saying. I'm just. You know, maybe you just weren't feeling it. You know, it goes that way sometimes.
It does, man. Well, it was fun. I mean, he makes those videos. He asked me to help out. I said, yeah, sure. I didn't really know what to expect, and yeah, then suddenly you're the next Justin Bieber. Well, not literally, but
man, I can't wait to see you singing in one of those.
No. That's gonna take a long time. You might see me rap in our video.
Maybe it's gonna be a bumpy ride.
It's not bad. So we see Huck so far still on Wonder Simulator, just wiped in his second cybernetic score. I think he's gonna stay on Wonder Simulator after he sees what's going on in Ganzi's main base, since we don't see any refineries down for him. So it's gonna be the no gas fast expand build for him. The 2 most standard openings in PvT so far.
Koreans have been favoring the double gas follow-up to this, though, so this isn't an unheard of build, but I really think we'll see double refinery shortly and then some fast tech.
You think we're going to see the Cloak Banshee? Because I don't think so. I think he's just going for a lot of bio units, like 3. He's probably going with 3 racks, gets Stim relatively quick, maybe gets Combat Shield before Stim, and I think we're going to see a little bit more of a standard still. I don't think he's going for Banshees.
All right, well, that would be awesome. He is adding that extra rack, so you seem to be spot on with that prediction. And Huck right now just chrono boosting out that Stalker and gearing up to take his own expand as we see it going down there as soon as he has the money for it.
Huck in general does not play in a lot of online tournaments, certainly not cross-server. That's why you don't see him featuring in the EG clan wise very often. But NASL is apparently important enough for him to participate. He did make it to the finals in the previous season. Season 2 he went to the finals, but yeah, he lost in a pretty epic series against Hazuos, which the score was 3-2 I believe. But that was some really, really excellent PvP. One of the best series I've ever seen PvP wise. Yeah,
Huck's he's played a lot of epic PvPs in the last year, man. I'll never forget. Yeah, I'll never forget that Naniwa game where that would have been such a nice pickoff, but not going to happen. Stalker going to have to be microed back as he gives up that high ground. But yeah, everybody remembers Huck versus Naniwa, where he was all but dead in the Home Story Cup finals, Home Story Cup 3, I think it was.
Yes, Home Story Cup 3 is correct.
And
that was on Shakuras Plateau, actually.
Yep, snipes the Robo with some DTs, and then Naniwa is incapable of getting any detection up and forced to tap out. That was so incredible. It was one of the most exciting PvPs I've ever seen.
And of course, Naniwa against Huck again at the recent MLG Spring. What's the secret event? Which city was hosted?
Columbus?
Yes, Columbus, that is correct. And he had that 6 series against Nani, which just came down to 1 Stalker and one Zealot running circles. Absolutely amazing stuff. One of the best PvPs ever as well. Or at least one of the most exciting. Definitely not the best, because it wasn't very special what was going on over there, but it was super exciting.
Ganzi walks down and chases that Stalker back a little bit.
He has a lot of Marines, by the way, Ben, and I'm not sure if Huck has been trying to cut some corners. He did wait. No, he's going to be fine, actually. He's going to have 3 gates. He needs to warp in probably at least 1 more sentry, because Ganzi has been pumping Marines of 4 racks, something we've been talking about earlier today, which can really, if Protoss surprise us, then you're going to need super defensive force field.
He's going to be fine.
He's going to just micro these stuff. I think you're right, man. He's going to be more.
Dim Huck Stalkers. Top 3 control, Kev.
Yep. And he's still been doing a really good job. Picks up a sentry. Stalker, sorry. And then he wants to pick up a sentry, but that's not going to work. But still, it's a really good change for Huck.
Yeah, it gets all those Marines at the cost of just 1 Stalker.
And this actually could get very risky, because Huck might be looking to put on a little bit of 3-gate pressure. And Ganzi is walking out with Marines because Huck just realized how many Marines he really killed. Ganzi getting an additional bunker. I think this counter push can be really scary for Ganzi.
Yeah, losing that many Marines hurts, man. Huck lost a single stalker. Ganzi lost 10 Marines. Resources lost is pretty one-sided, 500 to 175.
Huck, he's waiting for pylons. He's warping in pylons right now. I actually think that this should be really good for Huck. There's just not that much DPS right now.
Yeah, he's only got 3 zealots and 3 stalkers. He really needs a big zealot warp in. How many gates
that's what he will do.
have?
But I think once he will have that, like 60 Marines right now, it's starting to get better for Ganzi. Stim is on the way. He still needs more units.
This isn't going to work.
You think?
No, I don't think he's going to work. Well, there's no SCVs. If the SCVs repair, it could be different. But that's a pretty good force field by Huck. But yeah, look at these SCVs just repairing the bunkers, and Huck is going to have to turn around and.
Wow, if only he had 4 or 5 additional zealots, like right at the front, and then if you would force field in the back, then those zealots would probably have enough DPS to actually really work on those bunkers.
That puts Huck in a sort of awkward position, doesn't it?
Yeah, because he delayed his attack a little bit by trying to get on this gateway pressure.
A lot of it. His Robo's not even done yet. He throws on a Twilight Council as well, so he's going to be going Robo and Twilight. Ganzi leaves a few SCVs off the line just to make sure that he's out of the woods with this gateway pressure, but of course he is completely safe for the time being, and his economy is looking excellent. 47 probes to 42 SCVs and double orbitals, so small advantage to Ganzi, and you can see it in the resources per minute. It's just about 1,200 to 1,100.
Yep, 48 probes against 44 SCVs. Yeah, I think Ganzi is quite pleased with how this goes so far. Then again, no man overboard yet for Huck. All he has to do is survive this one critical phase where he's going to have to deal with Stimpack and Medevacs. But you can already see Huck putting a few stalkers in his main base. Huck probably one of those guys who's not afraid to split up his army anymore. So much experience in this matchup. And I actually enjoy this series a lot. Look at Ganzi, man. Ganzi is so paranoid because he's so dark. He has no idea what's coming. Already has those 5 SCVs here. Afraid of a big 6 or 7 gate coming in.
Yeah, they've been off the line this entire time. Huck's already building a 3rd base. That's got to be a bit of a, well, obviously a little bit of a gamble, because if Ganzi were to push, Huck could do nothing about it.
That is true, and I think even when Ganzi's just going to fly in there with a medevac, I think Huck's going to have a pretty tough time keeping that one alive. He's just going to completely skip the Robo Bay, and he's just getting more and more gates. He's working off that double fort. After Blink, he's probably going to get charged straight away, which is interesting, because often you see Protoss players at least get 1 Colossus, so it's a little bit easier to survive that certain phase of the game. But Huck having faith in them force fields, man. Top 3 control. Yeah,
he's also getting that Templar Archives. He's doing so much at once. Yeah. Gateways and upgrades, and not really building much army. 30 army supply to 44.
And that's 44 stimmed bio army supply. There we go with the first 2 medevacs, but there are so many pylons around the map for Huck. That's going to really buy him a lot of time. Because Ganzi's just going to stop everywhere and he's going to pick him off. At least that's what I thought he would. No, he's going to pick it off with this little hit squad. Actually, this is not a little hit squad, man. This is some serious hit squads. Yeah, and that drop's going to go out unseen by Huck. It's really amazing that the medevacs missed the vision of the probe and both those pylons. Really? Like Huck didn't see those medevacs? Didn't see anything. Oh, that's crazy. He followed it the whole way, and he saw absolutely nothing. He has no idea that it's coming. But this scan maybe gives it away. Yep. Huck straight away tries to get in position. Has a lot of zealots, has sentries over here as well. He's going to bring his stalkers down because there is a factory over here. What is Ganzi going to do right now? He's probably just going to attack up front here, and I think that's a wise decision. Yeah, Huck's in a really awkward spot, Kev. His stalkers are in his 3rd. There's nothing in his natural. The BC supply depot, man. It's taken out. Observer is over the army, so Huck knows exactly what's happening. He's pulling the zealots and the sentries away, though, and this could be very bad for Huck. Where's the drop? The drop went back to the middle because Ganzi just wants to attack the 3rd base up front. And I think it's a pretty good decision, man. He has 66 army supply against 48. And there is no charge yet. I think Huck is going to be in serious trouble. How do you defend this, Huck? How do you keep this base alive? We'll see. Moment of truth. Pretty good force fields. Archon joins the fray. Mostly Marauders up front. Those Zealots doing some good work. And actually... interesting force fields, and Huck is doing a really good job so far. Yeah, these last Zealots won't be able to get into the fight, but the Stalkers are going to blink forward, and Huck, not bad, Huck. Not bad at all. Wow, that really, really impresses me. I think Ganzi made a mistake bringing the drops back, man. I think he should have faked 5th or 3rd and dropped in the main. At the same time, Huck did warp in Zealots at Ganzi's 3rd. Didn't kill much, only a handful of SCVs, and Ganzi dealt with it pretty quickly, but man, Huck just dominated that fight. Huck went into it with a supply disadvantage and came out with it with a small lead. Yeah, it's insane. Oh, you gotta be careful, Huck. Blink away, loses 2 stalkers immediately, but there's Zealots and Archons reinforcing. Yeah, this might be a little bit overeager. He does still have that 1 warp in pylon, and that's Ganzi's gonna counter what? Now we're going to have a really interesting scenario.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. And look at this. Lots of zealots up in the third base of Ganzi, Kev, just destroying that economy, the command center.
A lot of zealots being wiped in. Ganzi, what are you doing? He's being so indecisive, but this is just... Hawk is doing such a good job with those Blink Stalkers.
He's attacking it at multiple angles, being very aggressive with these Blink Stalkers. Ganzi just can't seem to make up his mind as to what he wants to do.
Hawk did this so well. He bought himself so much time with those Blink Stalkers. He will probably end up losing most of his work. Actually, with the Zealots, he should be able to hold here.
Yeah, the Zealots are going to charge right in. Ganzi has defended his natural, basically stopping that part of the aggression, but Huck is creating a great lead for himself right here. He is going to clean up all these Marines and Marauders. And now what do you do, Ganzi? You're down in bases. Well, you have the same number of command centers, but you're not mining. You're mining on 2 bases. Army supply is definitely favoring Huck, 70 to 50.
I'm going to have Archons, and more importantly, 2-2 is ready right now. The previous fight, 2-2 was not even ready yet. And this time he is going to have 2-2. There's not a single bunker over here as well. Now, I don't really think that Huck just wants to storm in, but...
Hey, you never know. He's going to check with these Stalkers, confirm that there's a lot of stuff up there. And will we see a fight? Ganzi really wants to go for it. Where are the force fields? There they are. Beautiful. 1 force field, 2 completely blocking off the ramp. And Ganzi is going to lose this fight convincingly. Huck, you're so
force
good.
Fields from Huck were so insanely good in this game.
Man, I wasn't sure about Huck's choice to play as aggressively as he did, but boy, did he ever make it work.
Yeah. No,
I mean, those are slim timings that he hit. Ganzi drops the mules. And is probably going to be typing out. There it is. GG Huck taking game number 1, looking like a boss, styling it up some.
Really good play by Huck. I was just as you, Ben. I was kind of surprised as well by the decisions made in this game. But Huck did everything well. Also in the start, not wiping in sentries, instead wiping in stalkers. He's like, if I pick off 3-4 Marines before they actually run up my ramp, I'll be more than fine. Those force fields, keeping that third base alive, that was insane. And then later on, sealing the job as well with those force fields at the ramp. Really, really sick play.
Just want to commend Huck on that multitasking. At one point, he was attacking 2 different locations and defending his third all at once. So really tough to do that, and he was doing it well, actively microing the Blink Stalkers, making sure that his Zealots were on SCVs and keeping those Archons in relevant places. So awesome play there by Huck. That game was, of course, brought to you by Kingston HyperX, Kingston RAM, and SSDs. You can pick them up at kingston.com, so go do that right now. Short commercial break, and then game 2 of Huck versus Ganzi.